The enterprise migration agreements will allow many Australian resource companies to boost their construction workforce with skilled foreign labour. Industry groups say that workers in eastern states won't move to Western Australia despite the lure of high wages. For their part, unions want a bigger commitment from companies to train Australian workers, especially those who've been laid off from manufacturing jobs as the economy restructures. John Stewart reports.
By any standard, Gina Reinhardt's $9.5 billion Roy Hill iron ore project in the Pilbara is massive. The workforce will be well over 8,000 people. 20% of those, or 1,700 employees, will come from overseas to build the infrastructure for the mine. It's a trend that's set to grow in Western Australia.
It's right across the board, from engineers, geologists, tradespeople, riggers, scaffolders. So it is right across the board. We've got huge skill shortages in every conceivable area in the resources sector at the moment.
Gina Reinhardt isn't the only mining boss looking to use enterprise migration agreements to bring in foreign workers. Resource projects with capital expenditure of $2 billion and more than 1,500 workers can use the new arrangement to boost their workforce during the construction phase. And industry groups say that Roy Hill is just the start.
So at the moment there are about 12 projects in that category, and there's another 12 at advanced stages. So you've got about 24 projects that fit that definition. And indeed, if you went down to $1 billion, you'd probably end up with about 40 projects.
Industry groups say that workers from the eastern states won't move west to live in remote locations. And the new enterprise migration agreements are the only way to secure skilled labour.
So we find it extremely difficult getting people from the eastern seaboard. They may be losing jobs in the manufacturing sector over here at the moment. Many of them are on 9-day fortnights and 38-hour weeks and things of that nature. To go out of that environment where they have family and friends, nightclubs for the younger generation, and start doing 2 weeks on, 12-hour shifts, 1 week off, and that fly-in, fly-out arrangement, it's a big adjustment for people.
But unions say that resource companies need to provide better working conditions.
The issue really is for the mining companies and those billionaire mining resource companies to actually have a hard look at themselves and trying to make it more family friendly when it comes to the roster arrangements. Currently, they're 4 on, week off. Well, maybe they ought to start looking at that area and making it more attractive and more accessible for married men and women to take up jobs in that sector.
Unions want Australian workers who are being laid off from the manufacturing sector to be retrained to work on the big resource projects.
The issue here is that people have got transferable skills, but even if they don't in the semi-skilled area, there is no reason why we can't require more training from these resource projects to give our youth an opportunity. It is unacceptable that we would have 24.8% unemployment rate in Perth in our youth and not doing everything we can to provide them with an opportunity.
A small amount of skilled migration for these projects is a good thing, because the vast majority of people working on these projects will be Australians, and there'll be Australian employment training opportunities as well. I'd hate to see the day where one of these projects don't go ahead because of some shrill narrative about foreign workers.
Western Australia has just 10% of Australia's workforce, but now takes 25% of foreign workers. Across Australia, skilled migration is soaring, with more than 90,000 457 visa holders, up almost a third from this time last year. John Stewart, Late Line.